I saw.
I just had a thought. I don't understand how people can be those types that like have no idea like how anything works and like, you know, like have to like call somebody for everything. Because with our garage door got about half open when the motor, like when that gear stripped far enough for it to stop moving. And like it was starting to hail, like it's kind of like that stuff I talked about fairly recently where it was like kind of like starting to get hard, but not hard enough to actually really be hail. It was more like grapple, kind of like big grapple. But like if that would have turned into real hail, the TRX could have gotten destroyed if I wasn't the type that's like, okay, I know I can go pull that bypass cord and I know how to take the thing apart and like kind of try to figure out what's wrong with it. And yeah, just like imagine like having like something go with your plumbing and then just be like, I'm out of plumbing. Like not even having an idea how to do it yourself. Can't do it. Or another good example is if like, let's say like a pilot light goes out. Like imagine having to call somebody, because that's like I saw, on like our propane safety tips thing from when we got our propane. It's like imagine having to call somebody to come light your pilot light. They're going to charge, especially if it's like, let's say it's like the middle of the night on a Saturday. They're probably going to charge you over $100 to come in like start a fire, like a very small fire that is very easy to do on your own. But yeah, and then the thing is though, is if like for some reason you can't get a hold of somebody or something, all of a sudden you're out heat. And it's like when it's like 40 below, like I don't know, because you see people that like anything or like if you get like a flat tire and it's like you can't change a tire. There's so many spots in Montana, like if it's cold, like the canyons that I go through, like, you know, like service sucks. And you're in those corners, if it's icy and you like get a flat and you have to like, your car stopped on one of those corners with an icy, you have a good chance at dying. I mean, first off, you could like, I'd be like, screw it, I'll ruin my rim if I have to get not in these corners. But like, I mean, you could freeze to death. Because I mean, nowadays, like so many people aren't trustworthy. Like I'm not gonna stop for a random person because you see those things where it's like, oh yeah, somebody fakes they're broke down and then mugs you. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna. I mean, maybe like if they're like wearing like super small shorts or like pocketless shorts and a tank top, where it's like I can see they're not holding any like substantial weapons. Like they might have like a little tiny knife in the waistband of the shorts or something. Like where it's like, okay, no matter what they do, I can fight them off. And then like if I get out and they immediately like stop to help them, they like immediately beeline for their car, like be like, hey, I'm not even gonna, I'll get right back in my car. Because it's like at that point, like if you're looking for help, there's no reason to be beelining back to your car. But yeah, I mean, like, so if you people are gonna be trustworthy enough to like have anybody stop and help them, even if they are just a normal person. So it's like you might freeze to death because you can't put a spare on. Like, there's just, I don't know. It just like, because you hear stories about stuff like that where like people have like no handiness at all, whether it's about their vehicles, their homes, anything like that. And then the thing is, like, I think we mentioned this before, but like how everybody that we had like at that last, our rental, like when it was Nielsen Property Management that then changed name to Santana, they did not even attempt like any maintenance. It's like the one time when I realized the hot water tank was leaking, they argued with me. Like because I was walking by our little, like the little tool utility room and I could hear it dripping. And I was like, what the heck? So like I looked and like the bottom had rotted out of it and it was like starting to even rot the floor. Like in another like 2 or 3 months, like somebody that's not observant and or wouldn't know what's going on, that hot water tank would have fell through the floor. Like it would have been catastrophic. And you know, at that point taking a bunch of plumbing with it. But like that, I think they got that fixed like the next day. And it was like, you know, it would hold enough hot water. Because I kind of also noticed like our hot water wasn't lasting as long too before that. But yeah, it's just like that's the only thing they ever took seriously. Like literally every other maintenance thing they didn't care about. And it's like, I could see if like something that was like an emergency happened on a Saturday, like not having them even think about touching it until Monday. Where it's like, I know it's a rental and technically I'm not supposed to work on it myself, but I could just be like, screw it, I'm fixing it. Like, this is something that's like an emergency and they aren't going to come. So it's like, even when you're in a rental, like, you need some skills. And yeah, it's just like, I mean, that's why, like, I mean, there's obviously stuff I know nothing about, but like things you're using around your house, like any sort of like tech, like plumbing, electrical, vehicles, like the garage door opener, like any type of door hardware. Like I have at least enough knowledge where it's like between mine and if I like Google it and watch a YouTube video, if it's like, okay, I've never dealt with this like style of doorknob or like something, you know, like I can get a rough idea for pretty much anything. And it's like, yeah, like it's like when something happens and I don't know what, like, I'm like, I don't know what to do. I hate that feeling. And that's the thing too, is like with, like, let's say somebody like is so bad that they don't even like know how to turn a like water valve off. Like when our fridge, when the water line, because I think we talked about that on the vlog. But basically the water line that goes from like, that's patched into the, or patched, that's tapped into the sink, the line under the sink to go into the fridge for the ice maker and water dispenser on the fridge, got a hole in it and it was like leaking under the sink. And it's like, if you had somebody that was like so clueless they didn't even know how to turn the water off, like it was already letting quite a bit of water out, like that would have been enough where it would have gotten down in between the floor and the basement ceiling. And where the fridge is fairly close to where the TV is. So like, yeah, you could have ended up like, if you didn't know what you were doing at least a little bit there, like that could have ruined a TV. And yeah, it's just, people that are like that just baffle me. Okay, it's you know, this is what makes Montana weather interesting, because you don't only get like random snow in June, but normally, you know, like you look around us, like it's like clear and sunny, and I'm still about to hit like a fairly decent fog wall. I mean, it's not like when it's really bad midwinter, but still, it's like, yeah, like super, holy crap, it's only 35 degrees right now. Yeah, see, Elk Park really doesn't. Even when it's like, it's only supposed to be like high 60s or mid 60s in Butte and like high 60s in Helena. So it's not like it's going to be a super warm day, but still like to be 35 and 34 now and super foggy on Elk Park. This is late June. Like if it was precipitating right now, it'd be snowing. Okay, maybe when I was like, maybe it ain't going to be that dense. I mean, like I said, it's obviously nothing even close to the, oh my God, I'm going way under the speed limit. I'm an idiot. I didn't realize I saw that Subaru coming, then I'm like, what the heck am I doing? I'll just let them get by so I don't look like a douche. It wasn't very big, but it was like, that was like halfway to like the hardcore winter ones. And I mean, it looks like it's worse, like off that way too. And down to 33 now, because you know, Elk Park drops as you come to the end. But yeah, that's actually just kind of funny, because I was like, oh, it doesn't look like it's actually that bad. And it was fairly short, but it was still pretty thick while it was there. Okay, I know the name is just gibberish, but considering we get like every single feasible holiday off, not having Juneteenth off makes it feel like the people above me are a little racist. So I'm assuming everybody's heard that like saying like something drivers, no survivors. Like there's various things that I've heard that filled in with. I was thinking that with like, I was like, Helena drivers, no survivors. But Helena drivers, like, I don't think they could kill somebody, because what Helena drivers consider top speed, if they hit a pedestrian at that speed, it would stop the car, because they're going so slow. They'd hit the person's leg and like the car would be like, I don't have enough momentum to get through whatever this object is. So yeah, like it's Helena drivers all survivors, but not necessarily in a good way. Contrary to what it looks like, I do not go mudding in my car. Alright, I know they've got it all taped off and stuff, but like, seriously, I mean, these are just as bad. Like, how is that a better option than like, yeah, see like that second one from the bottom there, that one's about what those ones were like. Like, it's like, how is that a better option than like having functional steps that have some slight brakes?
Oh my god. I don't know. I don't think I got it in the mirror. No, you can't see it from here now. I just freaking saw a Cybertruck. It literally just passed me in Butte. Dude, that's unexpected. Okay, that's not super unexpected because I have seen a picture of one charging in Rocker, but I just figured it was some out-of-state person driving through or something. I didn't think I'd ever see one in the wild in Butte, Montana, but apparently I just did.
We have another one of those fun ESPN people having no idea what they're talking about. Because there's this massive article that's like about Dak Prescott and like basically like it's like starts out with like how they got in the situation where like they might need to make him the first $60 million player and like why they should leave him and what the other options are and like how he ends up with so much leverage. The thing is, in reality, like he has no real leverage because it's like what matters in the NFL? Winning a Super Bowl. Like, yeah, he finished second MVP voting and then full on shit the bed. Like, yeah, he came back and had a decent day statistically against the Packers, but if he hadn't thrown 2 terrible picks, like, they wouldn't have been in that situation. They wouldn't have been way behind. Because it's like, you know, one of them gets returned for a touchdown. Like, yeah, like right there, you spotted the Packers 14 points. Like, it doesn't matter, like, and then the thing, I mean, the defense didn't help, so considering that's supposedly the strong suit. But it's like the biggest accomplishment he had, like he's won, like the major playoff game he's won was against the Bucs, and it was like that was like when Tom Brady was like, well done, and like the rest of the team was kind of mediocre by that point. So it's like, and that's his like only like playoff victory where people are like, ooh. And it's like every time he plays a great defense in the playoffs, like you look at the games against the Niners, he played like trash every time. Like or mediocre at best. And it's like, that's the thing, is it's like, because like at the end of the article, it's like, oh, like it'd be even more painful for the Joneses and the Cowboys to live through possibly like a decade of shuffling through quarterbacks and being completely irrelevant, but kind of not really, because it's like when it's like sweet, like we have like a top 5 record in the entire NFL, win the NFC East, or like get a wild card with 12 wins or something every year, then just like, oh cool, shit the bed in the playoffs. Like I'd rather just be like, cool, like we're 0-6, like the season's over, like halfway through the season, you just be able to like watch like the 49ers get beat, hopefully, and the Eagles get beat, and like maybe some like crazy new team that you don't expect, like the Texans kind of were last year, like come out and be great and like just enjoy a season instead of being stressed out about what those idiots are gonna do in the playoffs. But either way though, to like say he has leverage, like the thing that really matters is a Super Bowl. And then at the same time, like it's kind of funny because there was a part where the guy talked about like, oh, like Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman, like they didn't take pay cuts to be able to keep a team around them. They won Super Bowls! Because like both of those players have suggested that like he should take a pay cut to keep players around him. But that's the thing, even Tom Brady did that. Like you should, like it's like you have 0 playoff success. Like I'd be like, like, and then he claims he's not playing football for money. And it's like, I'd be like, okay, like, you know, being the face of the Cowboys, because that was the argument with Emmitt and Aikman, was like, oh, you're the face of the Cowboys. You can make so much in endorsements. Like, why worry about how big your contract is? But that's what he should actually be thinking. He's like, maybe they have a point. Because, like, if I can keep Lamb and Cooks and maybe sign, like, a 3rd great receiver and, like, find us, like when Saquon Barkley was in free agency this year, like find a guy like that and then keep people like Parsons around him. Like Stephon Gilmore, it doesn't look like he's going to be back. I mean, he's still a free agent, so who knows? But it's like, be like, yeah, you know, I don't play for money, and like the ultimate goal is a Super Bowl, instead of being like, you know, like having all this crap going like, oh, he should be the first guy to make $60 million a season. with like the way the market's changing. It's like, no, you should be willing to be like, I'll go with like 40, be where I was before, and leave 20 extra million to keep people around me. Because that's the thing. Like, there are almost no quarterbacks that are that guy that can carry a team alone. Like, Mahomes is that. Brady's that. Like, even Peyton Manning wasn't that. Because it's like, he didn't have tons and tons of Super Bowls. And you look at, like, when he won it with the Broncos, he sucked. Like, he was past his prime. Like, DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller, who won that Super Bowl. I mean, obviously the whole defense, but, like, those two guys were, like, the whole way through. Like, they beat up Brady during the games they played against the Patriots. They were on Cam Newton. Yeah, I mean, and then, like, as often as he did well in the playoffs, he was never the guy that could have, like, and he also had Marvin Harrison, like, and Reggie Wayne the majority of his career. So it's like, he never had, like, a no-name roster and led the team to the Super Bowl. Like, he won a Super Bowl. And, I mean, and then, like, I think that was when the Bears still had Rex Grossman, I'm pretty sure. So it's like, he was playing, the quarterback across from him was Rex Grossman when he won a Super Bowl there. Yeah, and, like, and then, I mean, when they beat the Panthers, like, the quarterback across from him was running back Cam Newton. I mean, he's not as bad as, like, Lamar Jackson, but, you know, it has a lot of running back tendencies. But, yeah, it's just, like, it's insane to be like, oh, yeah, he's got all the leverage, when it's like, not really, because it's like, if they're not going to win a Super Bowl, they might as well just miss the playoffs, and at that point, let him go. Like, just keep Trey Lance, see what he can do, and, like, let him play out. Then, yeah, it's like, okay, let's say Prescott wins MVP and wins the Super Bowl. Like, then, okay, pay him. But it's like, just let him play out this season, and even if he wins MVP, if he falls apart in the first playoff game, let it be over. Like, then the dead money hit in 2025, just, like, keep Trey Lance, play that year out, and if he doesn't seem like the future, which would mean we'd have a high draft pick at that point, draft a guy. Like, and I mean, yeah, you don't, like, nowhere near as many draft picks hit as should when they're drafted in the top 5 or 10. But, like, lately, at least to, you know, like, a very high end of mediocre or lower end of good, like Trevor Lawrence, like, you don't have as many of those, like, full-on flops as you used to. So, at worst, you should have, like, a fairly serviceable quarterback if you take a top 10 quarterback. Like upper end of mediocre or low end of good. And you build around that, and that's enough to win a Super Bowl. Possibly. And it's like, but then if not, oh well, like, we're just still not winning a Super Bowl. Big fucking whoop. It just makes no sense to try to claim the guy has leverage when it's like, when it really matters, he blows it every time. And I don't even remember who his other playoff win was against. But he hasn't won, like, against a team with an equal or better record, because it was like both the ones he's won were wild card. And, like, I think that was the year the Bucks, when they beat the Bucks snuck into the playoffs at, like, 8-9 and won the trash South. Like, and the funny thing is I still, like, was like, oh, with Brady, yeah, they'll beat, like, there's no way Dak will win that. Like, that is not the feeling you should have if you supposedly want to keep a guy. Yeah, so I double-checked. I was right that the Bucks were 8-9, and then the other one they won was the Seahawks, when the Seahawks were 10-6. So the Cowboys were also 10-6 that year, but yeah, they haven't, like, been able to, like, go into the playoffs and beat a 12 or 13 win team with Prescott. All right, there must be something happening, because I saw, actually almost exactly like this GMC coming up, I saw a Blazer, like, same color scheme, roughly the same year, lowered before I got to this part of the highway. Like, what? And there's, like, a way more late model one. There must be some sort of, like, lowered Chevy truck show for Canadians happening in the United States. A Badger. I'm intrigued what this is all about. There's some pretty sweet trucks. They're all from Alberta. Huh. Sounds really neat.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, hit the notification bell, and we'll see you in the next one.